This BMW 5 Series has whole host of codes coming up. Misfires, evaps, the emissions, and so on. So I decided to do a smoke test. You can turn the machine on and see where the smoke's coming from. It's coming from right under the idle air control valve. Right there, as soon as you turn it on. Another place it's leaking from is this boot. I just finished removing the air intake box right here and the tube that goes to the throttle body. What I'm trying to get to is during my smoke test, I saw a leak right here. And it looks like we got a PCV valve diaphragm damage. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the PCV valve from there. It's easier if you take off the dipstick. It's 13 millimeter holding right here. You can take it off. And we're gonna go ahead and start removing the rest of the things out of the way. It has 10 millimeter bolts right there. 1, 2, and then 2 on the other side. I'm gonna remove those and get it out. You can easily get through all 4 bolts for the throttle body from this. There you go. Once you have the last bolt off, you just pull on the throttle body, nice and gentle. There you go. It's a perfect time just to check your throttle body. If it needs cleaning, use a throttle body cleaner to clean this guy up before you put it back. Now you should be able to see the PCV valve right there, and you see the hex bolt. The first one is this one. I'm gonna remove that. And the second one is right here. Remove these bolts. These hoses are basically squeeze and pull like this. So squeeze like that. And to do that, if the connection point is solid and it's not free moving around, these are very hard to squeeze and pull, and it makes it a lot easier. But if the connection point is loose, then you're gonna have quite a difficult time to get that out. So disconnect these from here and from the PCV system, and then remove the PCV system. Next, T25 Torx bit, and we're going to start removing these bolts here. In total of 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3. There you go. This thing is pushed on and it has some O-rings holding it in place, so you just want to gently pry a little, and then if you have a pry tool, try to support it at the bottom and pry it out. When working on these cars, I cannot emphasize enough caution, because everything is plastic, and especially the cars that have over 100,000 miles, everything is so brittle, so you really have to be gentle. Whenever disconnecting something, use supporting tools. Get it out. There's a hose right here. Disconnect this hose and it comes out in one piece. Our hose here is free. This is disconnected. Now I can go ahead, disconnect them from the bottom. Since I'm replacing the PCV valves and the hose, I don't care. I'm just gonna snap it in half because there's no reason to play with them. They're damaged. And then fold this hose up. It's easy. And the top connecting one is also going to give you a bit of a headache, so you just snap it and take it out of your way. Here you go. You're replacing them, so you don't need to be nice. There you go. Perfect. Take them out. When you install the new ones, you better be nice. So in this way, you don't have to follow the procedure the way you remove them, because you don't want to break the new ones. Meanwhile, clean everything else if you can. There's some oil residue. I'm going to clean stuff up while I wait for the new parts. So installation is basically the same. You just guide the new ones in, put 2 bolts on it, get the longer hose connected. The shorter hose has to connect first. Shorter hose goes down, connect, and then PCV is up. Bolt them down, and then longer hose connection. Once you get your new lines and new PCV valve system, all you need to do is, first thing first, is guide your fittings properly into their right position. So this right here, remember this bolts like this, so you're gonna push it down this cavity and make it sit to where it's supposed to. Right underneath, you'll be able to see your lines, where I can see mine right there, and the other one is on top. Now next part is a little bit of tricky, and I cannot show you that, but you will have to connect this part to the towards the car. This is how it will bolt underneath there. So you can either bolt this first and then connect your lines, or connect your lines and bolt it. So I'm going to connect my lines and then bolt this to the mounting brackets. In my my PCV, this is not connected, it's plugged. If yours is, make sure to connect it. There you go, this is connected. The bottom hose is connected, the side one is, and the bottom side one is too. I just mounted it. Next thing I'm gonna do is connect my throttle body back in. Throttle body, you have to guide in from here, from the top, and like this. And then just guide your bolts through. You're gonna hand guide all the 10mm bolts in the throttle body, tighten them up. So on top, you're gonna connect this line to that part of the house, and then this line is gonna connect to this part bottom. And if you want to make sure that it slides in easy, put some grease on it, it will help. And then the one of the hose that you brought up from the PCV connects to the bottom of this rail. So I'm just going to push this on and connect it. There you go. After this, just line up these into their designated holes, slide in, and you can use grease to make it sit better. And put these bolts back in, so you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So your PCV system will look something like this when it's completely buttoned up. You have this fitting here connected, this one connected here, that one connected here, then follow this one connected down here, and then at the bottom you're gonna have, make sure all your plugs down here are plugged in into their sockets. So you got that one here, this one here, the one right behind that pump. Then you have throttle body plug here that you actually have to disconnect. Idle air control valve plug here that has to be disconnected. You also have to unplug this guy, make sure all that is plugged in. And the last but not least, we're going to connect our dipstick. This bottom hose that come out of PCV valve has to connect to the dipstick. In many cases, this gets disconnected from the bottom of the PCV valve. You get a vacuum leak and you get a lot of codes. So if your PCV valve is good, the hose is disconnected, just plug it back in. But in our case, 90% of the time, that plug is damaged. So let me disconnect the dipstick. It will go into the oil pan. You see that hole right there? This is how your dipstick install should look like. Now, if you're trying to press in your dipstick and it does not want to go through the oil pan opening, then there's an O-ring in there. Pull the O-ring out, guide the O-ring over to the dipstick, and then insert the dipstick back in, dipstick tube, and you should be able to get this installed easily. This is your 13mm bolt. You're going to install and connect that one. Next, you're going to install your primary boot. And what I did was I repositioned that clip to position the fastener pointing down so I can easily fasten that. Otherwise, it was very hard to remove. Anyway, next we're going to say, let's install the secondary boot here. It's just going to bolt in, push on like that, and then connect this one here. This one is secure. I have mounted the upper hose. Now install the big bad wolf here. We're gonna guide this into this fitting. You see that one? It needs to go inside, slide it in, and then we're gonna bolt it down here. Give me 1 minute. When you install this box, if it's giving you a hard time sitting in place, 2 things you need to check. This both are slide in mounting sides. So there's one right there. See that little metal plastic part where the mount slides into? You Yeah, make sure that slides in properly. The next mounting part is right there, right under the ground cables. So you want to make sure that this slides into its cavity. And if you manage that, box should sit properly. Next, I'm going to connect the master flow meter. This boy here. So if you took it out without marking it and you don't know which side goes where, it's very easy. Either look at the arrow, air in from here, and air out to the engine. If you don't have an arrow, you only have one side that clamps in with these clamps. The other side clamps in with a hose. So make yourself some room and install the master flow. To do this, you're gonna slide this side first and then this side here, and it will fit in just fine. It lines up, clamp down, plug in, slide this on, and clamp it down. Secure everything, double check all your work, double check all your plugs, and this concludes the installation of PCV valve onto your BMW 5 Series. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.